They walked away from each other, chasing dreams that pulled them in opposite directions. Years later, on an abandoned railway, under a rising storm, they meet again. But this is not a simple reunion. One of them almost chose someone else. The other carries a regret that changed everything. Now, with a train rushing toward them, they have seconds to decide. Was their love real, or just something they could never let go of? Watch till the end, because the choice they make will redefine what love truly means. Before we dive into the incredible story, do not forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know you are never alone. The wind tasted like dust, and something unfinished. I stood at the edge of the old railway, boots sinking into dry earth, heart beating slower than the silence around me. Years had carved their weight into my bones. Different towns, different dreams, endless nights where your name sat heavy on my tongue. I had chased purpose. You had chased freedom. We called it love once. Then we let it go, like something fragile we feared breaking. A train horn echoed in the distance, sharp, sudden, cutting through memory. And then I saw you, standing there, closer than any memory, yet farther than every year we lost. My breath caught. The world tilted, not from fear, but from the quiet shock of something familiar, returning with new eyes. You looked different, stronger, softer, like life had touched you, and you had survived it, with grace I never understood back then. The air between us trembled. Every sound grew louder, wind brushing against dry grass, a distant bird calling, the steady rhythm of my pulse echoing in my ears. You stepped forward, one step, then another. Each movement carried years of silence, of growth, of pain we never shared. I see you, you said softly. Simple words, yet they broke something open inside me. 'Cause this time, you really did. Not the boy I was, not the dream I chased, but the man I had become. Through failure, through solitude, through learning how to stand. Without you, my chest tightened, not with regret, but with understanding. We were never wrong. We were just unfinished. The wind rose again, wrapping around us, like it remembered everything. And in that moment, standing between past and possibility, I realized love had never left. It had been waiting, quiet, patient, for us to become the people who could finally hold it, without letting it break again. You moved closer, close enough for me to feel your warmth, close enough for the silence to speak louder than words. And my hand began to lift toward yours, slowly, as if the air itself had weight, as if one wrong movement could scatter this fragile return into dust again. Your fingers trembled, just enough for me to notice, just enough to tell me you felt it too. That quiet storm, building beneath calm faces. The wind shifted, cool now, brushing against my skin, like a warning, or a memory trying to speak. I hesitated, not from doubt, but from the sudden rush of everything we had been, and everything we had survived. Your eyes held mine, steady, deep, filled with stories I had never heard. I waited, you whispered. The words landed softly, yet they shook something loose inside me. Because I had waited too, in crowded cities, under foreign skies, through victories that felt empty, and nights that stretched too long. My hand finally touched yours, warm, real. A spark traveled through my chest, sharp, unexpected, almost painful, as if my heart remembered something it had tried to forget. The ground beneath us felt unsteady, or maybe it was just me, breathing unevenly, trying to understand how something lost could return, so alive. Your fingers closed around mine, firm, certain, and suddenly, the years between us collapsed, not gone, but transformed into something stronger, something earned. A distant rumble rolled across the horizon, low, growing. The sky darkened at the edges, clouds gathering, thick, heavy. The air pressed closer, charged, restless. You stepped nearer, so close now. I could feel your breath. Hear the quiet hitch in it. See the flicker of fear. Not of me, but of losing this again. I am different now, you said. Each word careful, honest. I had to break, to understand what I was holding. Thunder cracked, sudden, violent. The sound tore through the moment, making my chest tighten, my grip on your hand stronger. Rain began to fall, slow at first, cold drops against warm skin. One sharp, awakening every sense. The scent of earth rose around us, rich, alive, and something inside me shifted. Not shock now, but something deeper, something almost overwhelming. Because this moment, this storm, this closeness, felt too real, too powerful, to slip away again. And yet, beneath it all, a quiet tension lingered, unspoken, unfinished. Your grip tightened slightly, as if you felt it too, as if something else still waited, just beyond this moment. Something neither of us had faced yet, something the years had hidden, but never erased. Your lips parted, ready to say more, as the rain grew heavier, and I leaned closer, feeling the weight of what was coming, settling between us. Your lips parted, ready to say more, as the rain grew heavier, and I leaned closer, feeling the weight of what was coming, settling between us. Then you pulled back, not far, just enough, enough to let doubt breathe, into the space we had just rebuilt. My chest tightened. That small distance felt louder than the thunder. What happened? Asked, my voice barely steady, carried by the storm. You looked away, toward the horizon, where the sky folded into shadow, your silence stretching, thin, sharp. There is something you never knew, you said. Words slow, careful, as if it carried years inside it. The rain soaked through my shirt, cold now, clinging to my skin, but I barely felt it, because something deeper, colder, had already begun to settle. You stepped back, one full step, and this time, felt like falling. I tried to find you, you continued, more than once. The world narrowed, sound fading, except for the rhythm of rain, and the sudden pounding in my chest. I came back here, years ago, my breath caught, sharp, unforgiving. I waited right here. Your eyes finally met mine again, and they held something I had never seen before. Not distance, not strength, but regret, heavy, unhidden. You never came. The words struck hard, not loud, but deep. 'Cause I remembered. Letter, priest, forgotten, buried beneath ambition and pride. A day I chose something else, thinking there would be time, always more time. The storm roared louder, wind pushing against us, pulling at clothes, memory, truth. I was there, I said, but the words felt weak, too late, too small. You shook your head, not in anger, but in quiet understanding, the kind that hurts more. I know now, you whispered. I know who you had to become. Lightning split the sky, bright, blinding, and for a moment, everything stood still. Your face, the rain, the space between us, etched in sharp clarity. I changed too much after that day, you said. Your voice trembled now, finally breaking. I stopped believing in waiting. The ground beneath me felt hollow, like something essential had shifted out of place. You are here now, I said, almost pleading, almost afraid. You stepped closer again, but slower this time, more uncertain. I am here, you said, but I am not the same person who waited. Your hand brushed mine, not holding, not yet, just a touch, like questioning, and somehow, that felt more intense than before. 'Cause now, it was not about finding each other. It was about whether we could still choose each other. After everything, the rain softened, just slightly, but the tension remained, unresolved. Your fingers lingered near mine, hovering, as if waiting, for something more than courage, for something certain. And I felt it too, that fragile edge, where love alone might not be enough, where truth still waited to be fully faced. And neither of us moved, as the storm slowly shifted around us, holding us there, between what was lost and what might still break again. And neither of us moved, as the storm slowly shifted around us, holding us there, between what was lost and what might still break again. The rain thinned into a quiet drizzle, each drop softer now, but heavier somehow, as if the storm had only changed shape, not passed. Your hand finally found mine again, this time, firmer, warmer, but not certain. I felt the difference, the hesitation beneath the touch, like a question neither of us knew how to ask. I carried you with me, I said. The words came slower now, drawn from somewhere deeper. I just did not know how to come back. You watched me closely, searching, not for the past, but for truth. Unprotected. A long breath left your lips, shaking slightly. I learned how to live without you, you said. No anger, no blame, just a quiet fact that settled between us, like a line drawn in sand. The wind eased, and the world felt too still, too open, like something was about to be revealed or taken away. My grip tightened, not to hold you in place, but to steady myself, 'cause I felt it, that fragile balance, flipping. You are here now, I said again, softer, less certain, as if saying it enough might make it true. Your eyes softened, but only slightly. I am here, you repeated. But being here is not the same as staying. The words lingered, echoing louder than thunder ever had. My chest tightened again, sharp, unexpected, as if something inside me refused to accept them. A distant sound broke through. Not thunder this time, but the low grind of metal. The railway, alive again. The ground beneath us trembled, subtle, but growing. You turned toward the tracks, instinctively, and I followed. A train was coming, far at first, its light barely visible, through the fading rain, but approaching, steady, unavoidable. The air shifted again, charged, not with storm, but with decision. Your hand slipped slightly in mine, not pulling away, but not holding tighter either, just loosening, as if preparing for something neither of us wanted to name. I leave tonight, you said, your voice almost lost to the distant roar. The words hit harder than anything before, 'cause this time, there was no past to blame, no missed letter, no distance, just a choice. Here. The train grew louder, closer, its presence filling the silence we could no longer hide in. I stepped closer, closing the space, feeling the warmth of you again, real, fragile. Then stay, I said, simple, honest, everything I had. Your breath caught, I saw it, felt it, a shift, a pull, but also the resistance, years of becoming, years of learning to stand alone. You are asking me to risk everything again, you whispered. Your fingers pressed into mine, not letting go, not fully holding on. The light from the train now spilled across us, bright, unforgiving, casting long shadows behind, like ghosts of who we used to be, and who we could never return to. I am asking you to choose with me, I said. The ground shook harder now, the moment tightening, closing in. Your eyes searched mine, deep, desperate, alive with something unresolved, something still unfinished. And then, just as the train's roar filled everything, just as the distance between leaving and staying collapsed into a single breath. Your hand shifted in mine, not pulling away, not holding tighter, but changing, as if the answer was forming, right there, between our intertwined fingers, as if the answer was forming, right there, between our intertwined fingers. The train roared closer, metal screaming against metal, a force too strong to ignore, too real to escape. Wind rushed past us, pulling at your hair, my jacket, at everything we still held between us. Your hand tightened suddenly, not hesitant now, but not fully certain either. Something in between, something fragile, and dangerously alive. I am afraid, you said. Your voice broke, tough, honest, stripped of everything except truth, and that shook me more than anything, because you had never said that before, not back then, not when we were younger, reckless, unaware of what loss could become. I stepped closer, until there was no space left, until your breath mixed with mine, warm against the cold air. So am I answered. The words felt heavy, but right. The train thundered beside us now, deafening, blinding, its light washing over everything, erasing shadows, leaving nowhere to hide. Your grip trembled, felt it, the conflict, a pull, the quiet war inside you. I built a life, you said, fighting to be heard over the noise, a life that does not depend on you. Each word struck with purpose, not to push me away, but to protect what you had become. I know, I said, and I did. I saw it in you, the strength, the independence, the hard-earned peace, and I understood. This was no longer about finding each other. It was about whether we could exist together, without losing ourselves again. The train began to pass, car after car, each one a blur, like years racing by, too fast to hold, too loud to ignore. Your hand started to slip, not sudden, not forced, but gradual, like something being tested, like you were waiting to see if I would hold on or let go. I tightened my grip, not desperately, but deliberately, choosing you in this moment, not the memory of you, not the past, but you, as you stood here now, changed, strong, uncertain. Your eyes lifted to mine again, searching, measuring, feeling the difference. The noise began to fade, slowly, the last cars passing, the ground settling beneath us, but the tension remained, the unspoken. Your fingers shifted in mine again, this time, curling slightly, not fully closing, but no longer pulling away. I do not want to lose myself again, you said. Quieter now, as the world returned, sound clearer, each breath heavier. You will not, I replied. But even as I said it, I knew this was not something I could promise, not fully, not for both of us, 'cause love, real love, demanded risk, demanded change, demanded stepping into something, without guarantees. A long silence followed, no storm now. No train, just us, and everything still unresolved. Your thumb brushed against my hand, low, thoughtful, as if learning the shape of something new, rather than remembering the old. I need to know, you said, your voice steadying, not fragile now, but grounded, real. I need to know that we are not just reaching for what we lost. The words settled deep, 'cause they were true, painfully true. Took a breath, feeling the weight of everything, pressing in, not crushing, but shaping. I am not reaching for what we were, I said, slowly, carefully. I am standing here for what we could become. Your eyes softened again, but this time, there was something else, something quieter, something not yet spoken. Your hand tightened, just a little more, and your body leaned closer, almost without realizing, as if something inside you was beginning to choose, before your mind could fully agree. The air shifted again, not with tension, but with something uncertain, delicate, like the first step onto unfamiliar ground. And then, you inhaled sharply, as if something had just surfaced, something unexpected, something you had not planned to say. Your grip changed again, stronger now, yet trembling beneath it, and your lips parted, as your eyes held mine, with a new intensity, something deeper, something that felt like the edge of a truth, still waiting to be fully revealed. With a new intensity, something deeper, something that felt like the edge of a truth, still waiting to be fully revealed. Your breath faltered, just once, but enough for me to feel it travel through the space between us. You began, then stopped. The silence that followed felt heavier than everything before. I did not speak, did not move, afraid even a whisper might break whatever was rising inside you. Your fingers pressed tighter into mine, grounding yourself, or maybe holding on to the moment. I almost chose someone else, you said. Finally, the words came out quiet, but they struck like lightning, not loud, not explosive, just sudden, and impossible to ignore. My chest tightened, a sharp pull inward, not anger, not even jealousy, but something more complex, something that carried the weight of time we had lost. You watched me carefully, searching my face, for reaction, for truth, for whether I could stand inside this reality. I tried to move on, you continued, voice steadier now. I thought that was what strength looked like. The wind brushed past again, gentler this time, cool against skin still warm from tension. I stood in front of a future that made sense. You swallowed, your grip shifting again, not weaker, but more exposed. And I felt nothing. That landed differently, not as pain, but as clarity. Unfiltered. The world seemed to narrow again, not from shock, but from understanding, because I knew that feeling too well, living in something right, that never felt real. You came here instead, I said, softly, not as a question, but as recognition. You nodded, low, certain. I needed to know if this, your thumb brushed against my hand again, was still alive, or just something I could not let go of. The honesty in your voice cut through everything, every fear, every doubt, leaving only what mattered. I stepped closer, closing what little space remained, until there was no distance left. Only breath, only presence, only truth. It is alive, I said, quiet, but unwavering. Your eyes searched mine again, deeper this time, not looking for words, but for proof, for something beyond feeling, something that could hold weight. Over time, your hand lifted slightly, pulling mine with it, placing it gently against your chest. Felt it, your heartbeat, fast and even, real, not memory, not illusion, but now, right now. You feel that, you whispered. I nodded, unable to look away, unable to step back. That is what scares me, you said. Your voice trembled again, but softer now, not breaking, just opening, because it means this is not over. The words lingered, wrapping around us, settling into the space we had been standing in all this time, and something shifted inside me, not sudden, not overwhelming, but certain, like a quiet truth, finally finding its place. My hand remained against your chest, feeling every beat, every hesitation, every unspoken word, and I realized this moment was no longer about the past, or the years we lost. It was about whether we were ready to step into something that would demand even more than before. Your fingers slid along my wrist, low, intentional, holding me there, as if you needed me to fully understand what you were risking, what we both were. The air grew still again, waiting, watching, as your eyes held mine, with that same intensity, but now, with something clearer, something closer to a decision, yet not fully there, not yet. Your lips parted again, closer this time, your breath warm, steadying, as if you were about to say something that would change everything, and your grip tightened, just enough. Tell me, this next moment would not be easy, would not be simple, and would not leave us the same again. Your grip tightened, just enough. Tell me, this next moment would not be easy, would not be simple, and would not leave us the same again. You closed your eyes, only for a second, as if gathering every broken piece, every lesson, every year. Then you looked at me, fully, clearly, no distance left. I am not afraid of loving you, you said. Your voice steadied, stronger now. I am afraid of losing who I became, while learning to live without you. The truth settled between us, not heavy anymore, just real. I nodded, 'cause I understood, because I had lived it too. I do not want who we were, I said. Low, honest. I want who we are now, choosing each other, without losing ourselves. The wind softened, the sky clearing just enough to let light break through. Your hand held mine. No hesitation now, no testing, just presence, just choice. A long breath left you, like something finally released. I cannot promise perfection, you whispered. I smiled faintly. Neither could I. But I can promise truth, effort, and staying, even when it feels hard. Your fingers tightened, not out of fear, but certainty, and for the first time, there was no past pulling us back, no future rushing us forward. Just this moment, steady, earned, real. You stepped closer, until our foreheads touched. Quiet connection, no rush, no need to prove anything, just understanding, shared, complete. The world around us felt different now, not because it changed, but because we had. And in that stillness, I realized, love was never about finding the right time, or holding on to who someone used to be. It was about becoming, growing, failing, learning, and still choosing to stand beside someone, without losing yourself in the process. Your hand slipped into mine, perfectly this time, as if it had finally found its place. And together, we turned, not toward the past, but toward a path, uncertain, unfinished, but ours. Walk, step by step, with open hearts, and steady souls, because real love is not about never breaking, it is about rebuilding, with truth, with patience, with courage, until two whole people choose each other, again, and again, and again.